Brandon, welcome to Radio Activa, man. How are you?
Great. How are you?
I'm very fine, thanks. I'm actually excited you guys are coming back to our country, which is great because the Killers somehow is one of the very few bands that have come to our country since the very beginning. I mean, we've seen you guys perform here since the very early stages of the band. So it's great because you sort of grow also with the audience. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And we watch, we were just talking about how we get older, we watch the crowd get older, but then there's also a new generation, and even some people are bringing their children now, and that's kind of incredible to watch, and it's an amazing thing to be a part of.
Yeah, and that's interesting too. I sort of noticed that every time you get into a Killers record as a listener and you start listening to a record, you always kind of find something different that seems to be looking forward to appeal to a different audience, not letting go, of course, the ones who are with the band since the very beginning, but trying to capture new people. Am I right?
Yeah, I think that we become new people, with each album, and you take on new influences and new observations, and you are hopefully improving. And so maybe it's a little bit of all of that.
Let me ask you about Boy, of course, the song. I love the lyrics, the whole, and when you're out on a ledge, please come down, boy, there's a place that exists, just give it some time. Can you tell me a bit about that?
I think a lot of this generation, we are so in our own heads, and we're talking about a lot of people are feeling isolated and feeling like the way that social media makes people feel like they need more than they've got, and they need to be better than they are, and I mean, I struggled with that before social media existed, and so I think just it sounds like such a simple bit of advice, but the idea of just waiting and growing and evolving and not worrying so much about where you're at right now and looking forward to the future can be very beneficial for people.
But it's very beautiful. The first time I listened to the track, actually, I was at Mad Cool when you guys performed the song.
Oh, cool.
And I remember thinking about this song and wondering, because I'm from a very small town here in Colombia, and even though I love my hometown, I was one of those kids looking forward to grow. So that was like my take from the lyrics of the song. So I love how different it can impact people.
Yeah, I was similar situation with me. I was in a really small rural town in Utah when I was 12 to 16, and it was just, I always felt like I wanted something a little. Everybody goes through that. That time where you're starting to realize that you want independence and you want out, and I think trying to capture that, I feel like we did a really good job of capturing that, but also showing a little bit of tenderness for for that situation.
And I wanted to get into it too, because from my point of view, the last two records from the Killers are a contrast. We have Imploding the Mirage, huge production, huge sound, and we have Pressure Machine, which sounds so intimate, so reflective. So I was wondering, who the boy is like in the middle of these two records, lyrically speaking, when it comes from your perspective, writing a track which have this story.
Yeah, so what I've come to realize is that I've always been very observational, and I've always been reading the room since I was young, and so it's come in handy now because thank heavens I remember a lot of characters and I remember a lot of experiences, and I've been able to reflect them now in songs, and so with an album like Pressure Machine. A lot of the things that stood out that I remember were things that were shocking or that were scary, or that were new to me. And so I turned that was something that I had been holding on to for a long time, because the Killers, we waved the flag for Las Vegas, and so it was this secret that I was keeping, that I had grown up in a little town in Utah,
Mhm.
And I'm grateful for the opportunity to write about those experiences. I didn't realize that I had so many memories and so much to draw from. Whereas a record like Imploding the Mirage was about um, getting, uh, getting, being a protector for my wife and growing together with her and being reconciled to each other and doing what it takes to secure our bond.
Okay. Who's producing the upcoming album? What can you tell me about it?
We have a team, a dream team, Sean Everett and Stuart Price.
Okay. I was at Glastonbury too in 2019. You did a huge show. Johnny Marr, Pet Shop Boys also joined you on stage. It was impressive. Which when I listened to Boy, make me reflect on that synthesizer part of the song, which reminds me, of course, of Erasure and the Pet Shop
Yep.
Boys. And I thought, like, wow, it makes total sense. Can you tell me about that bridge you worked on the song, because it's a beautiful reference.
Yeah, it's a nod to A Little Respect by Erasure, and that was part of my lexicon when I was a kid growing up. Part of the music I was listening to, it was Pet Shop Boys, Depeche Mode, New Order, Erasure, and all those great bands. And so while I was trying to capture what I was experiencing during that time, it felt like I wanted to kind of showcase the music that I was listening to without directly, totally stealing everything. But we definitely referenced Erasure there.
But I love that somehow you guys always reference influences, classical, contemporary. You've had collaborations with the guitar player from Fleetwood Mac. I just can't remember their name right now.
Lindsay, yeah.
Yeah, and the War on Drugs, and also Springsteen, of course, and then Johnny Marr and Pet Shop Boys. So I mean, that's cool, right? Why not?
Yeah, I mean, if you can, we learn something from everybody along the way, and I'm more open to that as I get older, and you got to realize that these people have something to offer, and they're all people that have helped shape us, and so it's really been an honor to be able to be on stage with them.
It's been 18 years since the debut record, 21, if I'm doing the math right, as a band. How does it feel looking back? Do you ever ask yourself about, the legacy that the Killers are building currently?
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing that we're still around. A lot of bands don't last and live to see 20 years. And so we're going on, 21 now. And we're really proud of what we have accomplished, and we're just going to keep it going. And I still feel like there's more to say, and I still feel like we're growing and we're getting better live. That's another part of our band and our identity that we didn't anticipate, I don't think, is how much it would mean, to see the Killers in concert, and how much it would mean for us to be on stage. And so that's interesting. And yeah, I think there's still more to come.
Look, another memory just popped in my mind. We saw you here in Colombia perform Love Will Tear Us Apart with New Order in Stereo Picnic.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And and did we do Crystal too or something like that?
Yes, I think you did. I mean, you guys have a story here in Colombia. We sort of been waiting for this tour a lot, and the pandemic got in the middle. How does it feel now going on?
Yeah, I would like to take all the credit for how great the shows have been, but I think it might be that the crowd is just happy to be out of their houses. but we're lucky because we get to reap the reward. It's like the shows have just been phenomenal, and I don't expect any less in Colombia. And we're getting pretty good again. We've got 65 gigs under our belt this year, and so we're really starting to be a machine, and it feels good.
Okay. Besides the producers, which I already asked you about, is there anything else you could tell me about the upcoming record?
Yeah, let's see. Boy is a great face for the record, and we're leaning into a little bit more of our synth side, but there's always going to be guitars, and there's always going to be once you got Vannucci on drums, it's tough to take our DNA out of it, no matter how different you try to be.
Actually, that's great about Boy. When I listened to the track the first time, like on video, I thought that there was more synthesizer, but then I saw the drum on Ronnie and the guitar also, which I thought initially was just another digital thing. So I thought it was interesting how you guys incorporate the whole thing into one track.
Yeah, it's when you can marry that marriage of synthesizers and guitar, and rock and roll it's a tricky one, but when we get it right, it's a beautiful thing. We always looked up to bands that we admired, like The Cure and the Cars, and even Pink Floyd, that were able to have those marriages. Those are the heavy hitters, obviously, but yeah.
Thank you very much, man. That's
right.
it. It's great talking to you. Looking forward to see you guys here in Colombia once again. It's always a pleasure.
Thanks,
okay.
man.